Hello everyone, Zero Eclipse here, and guess what time it is? Time for Chapter 5, Party Time and the Truth, from Equestria's Human Spirit. I still couldn't shake off the feeling by what would be happening at Sugarcube Corner. My gut was telling me something would surprise me. But what is the question? Everybody seemed too keen on going to the Sugarcube Corner. "We're here, every pony," I heard Twilight call out as we arrived at our destination. I was snapped out of my train of thought and looked up. I didn't know whether these ponies were hyper on sugar, or if this just happened to be how the place was decorated. The building looked like a frickin' gingerbread house, completed with frosting, decorations, and gumdrops all over it. Well, I certainly wasn't expecting this kind of decor. I chuckled a little at the idea of the building. A building like this existing back home came up. "What makes you say that?" Lyra asked as she followed the rest of the group to the building's entrance. "Well, usually, if something was decorated like this, I would see it in a big city, not a small rural town like this," I explained. "Oh, I see," Lyra said in understanding. "Well, the Cakes are very passionate with business, especially with Pinkie Pie's help nowadays." "Come on, every pony, I'm starving," Twilight said, licking her lips as she pushed the door open. I followed Twilight and the others inside. However, following them was a hard task due to the fact that the lights were off, and some pony had shut the door behind us. "Hey, Twilight, why are the lights off? I thought this place was open," I asked while trying to locate the rest of the group, feeling around blindly. "Click surprise!" the others yelled with a lot of the other townsfolk as the lights turned on. "Jesus!" I yelled back as I had the shit scared out of me, and I nearly had a heart attack. I nearly jumped out of my skin and fell on the floor in surprise. While I regained my composure and breath from the surprise, I looked around the room. The room was filled with many ponies, along with a banner that said, "Welcome to Ponyville, Daniel Blaze." There were balloons, streamers, and confetti everywhere, along with a table filled with sweets and a punch bowl. "Hi, Danny!" Suddenly Pinkie's face was mere inches from my own, expressing one of the biggest smiles I'd ever seen. "So, Danny, were you surprised? Huh? Huh? Huh?" she asked excitedly. Did you do all this for me?" I asked, still stunned by the turn of events. "Of course I did, silly Willy. No pony would live without a party here in Ponyville," she explained, happily bouncing in place. I was so stunned and shocked that she did all this for me, especially after how we all first met. I felt my heart bursting with joy and happiness towards these girls, my newfound friends. "Danny?" Pinkie asked, snapping me out of my thoughts with her voice. "You okay?" "Yeah. Why, you ask?" I asked, wondering why she suddenly seemed so worried. "You're not smiling. I'm just staring at everything," she answered as her mane seemed to deflate. "Do you like your party?" she asked nervously. I smiled warmly at her and then pulled her into a tight hug, making her gasp in surprise. "I love my party, Pinkie. I'm still just a little stunned by the act, but I am overjoyed with this," I explained while I tightened my embrace a little to enforce my explanation. I was expecting Pinkie to give me a bone-crushing hug, but instead, she gently wrapped her arms around me and squeezed me gently, returning the embrace. "I'm glad you love it, Danny Whitey," she whispered. I simply chuckled at my new nickname, and I'll say this, she knows how to make some pony smile. But one thing still confused me. Why did she seem so worried about whether I liked the party or not? Was she worried I'd still be hurt from our first meeting? Pinkie broke from my embrace and turned to the ponies in front of us. "Come on, every pony! Let's party!" she yelled this to them, getting every pony else to cheer in agreement. She quickly disappeared into the party beginning around us. Sadly, before I could determine if my suspicions were correct. After the initial surprise and greetings, the party quickly fell into full swing. Pinkie had really gone all out. She had a DJ by the name of Pone 3, who was spectacular. Most of my time was spent on the dance floor as I was absorbed into her music, much like a lot of the other ponies around me. Eventually I ran out of energy and needed a break. I took up a seat at a table and looked around. seeing that though there were still some hard partiers out there dancing, others had the same idea of sitting down and chatting with a cool drink in their hand. I myself was enjoying a cupcake and a glass of punch, as I enjoyed my sweet and beverage. I couldn't stop thinking about how delicious both were. Pinky really knew how to make her sweets and drinks. The cupcake and punch were bursting with flavor. I wonder what she uses that makes them so good. Hey, Daniel. I looked up and saw Twilight coming up to me. You enjoying the party? I nodded. I am. It's been too long since the last time I was at a party like this, I said with a big smile. Twilight smiled back. I'm glad you're enjoying yourself, and that you're happy. She then took a closer look at me and began to giggle a little. And I believe you since you seem to be drenched in sweat. Pardon me. I laughed at her comment, looking at the state of my own shirt. Yeah, I'm definitely going to need a shower after this. What is it you wanted to show me, Lyra? Asked a female voice. Twilight and I looked around at the sound of the voice. Eventually, we found the source to be that of a mare being pulled by her arm towards us by an excited Lyra. The mare who had a dark blue and light pink striped mane and tail. She had light blue eyes and a light yellow colored coat. She was wearing a yellow t-shirt, jeans, and had yellow shoes. Lyra pulled her towards me and Twilight. Her smile was never faltering. I want to show you that humans exist! They actually exist, Bonbon! Lyra, how many times do I have to point it out to you? Humans don't... She stopped speaking when she saw me. Her eyes widened, and her jaws dropped. I smiled and offered my hand to her. Nice to meet you, miss. I'm Daniel Blaze. Bonbon, if that's her name, slowly raised her hand and gently shook mine. This is impossible. Humans can't be real, her expression of shock never leaving her face. I chuckled at her reaction. Well, I'm very real. Daniel, this is Bonbon, my roommate. Bonbon, this is Daniel, the human, Clara said to the two of us, getting introductions out of the way. I smiled and nodded to her, while Bonbon was still awestruck. You enjoying the party, Daniel? Clara asked me. I nodded, and very well, thank you for asking. Glad to hear that. Well, me and Bonbon are going to go on the dance floor now. See you later! Come on, Bonbon! She grabbed Bonbon's hand and dragged her away while she continued to stare at me in shock. I think I broke her, I joked to Twilight. Twilight could only laugh, covering her mouth with a hand. I believe you did. Suddenly another voice spoke up. Hey, Daniel! I looked up and saw a rainbow flying above me. Hey, Rainbow, what's up? I asked. Not much. You loving the party? She asked. I nodded again. Yep. I can tell you're enjoying yourself as well. Her mane was more ruffled than what I'd seen before, and she was panting heavily. Sure am. Just got done on the dance floor, she answered. As she hovered there, I looked at her tattoo on her arm, which was a cloud with a rainbow lightning bolt on it. Curiosity getting the best of me, I asked Twilight. Hey, Twilight, what's up with the marks on every pony's arms? She looked at me confused until she realized what I was saying. Oh! These are called Cutie Marks, she answered, showcasing her own, which was some sort of a diamond in the shape of a six-pointed star. I snickered a little at the name of the tattoos. Cutie Marks? I asked. They symbolize the talent of that pony, and only appear when that pony finds his or her talent, she explained. Oh, that makes sense. But how do they just appear? I said, understanding the concept, but not how they came to exist. Well, it's not really well known, other than the fact it's due to some sort of magic. However, it appears in two locations, one on our arm, as you can see, she said, showing her mark again, and one on our, flanks, she answered, blushing a little. I blushed a little as well, due to her mark being on her supposed flank. Right, so what does your mark mean? I asked, trying to get on a less embarrassing topic. My talent is magic in general, and spellcasting, Twilight answered. Mine's being the fastest flyer in all of Equestria, Rainbow said proudly, as she flapped a little more energetically at the bold statement. Those are some interesting talents you do have, I said, finding the concept of Cutie Marks interesting. What about humans? Do they get cutie marks? Twilight asked. I shook my head. No, humans don't get those cutie marks. We really don't have any specific special talents that show like that, I explained. But of course there are people who'll be really good at specific things, or multiple things. But that is seen enough through your work, not by a mark on their body. Really? This sucks that you don't get any cool cutie marks, was said amazed. But what kind of things are you good at, Daniel? Well, my skills with wielding my grandfather's sword and martial skills. I'm good with singing and playing the guitar. I also know a lot about Earth's history, but that's more of just an interest than a talent, I explained. You can sing and play guitar? Awesome! You have to play a song for us, Rainbow begged. I'm interested in seeing you perform as well, Twilight added with a smile. Well, I suppose I can play a song, but I don't have a... I was cut off when Pinky appeared with a black, red, straight guitar in her hands. Guitar. Where did you get this, and where did you come from? I asked Pinky. I come from everywhere, Pinky answered happily, and bounced back into the crowd, disappearing yet again. I turned to the two, and they both had faces saying, Don't ask, I'll take their words for it. I got off my seat, walked up to the stage, and saw that DJ Pony. But this time I got a real good look at her. Wearing a white shirt, had a blue lightning-colored mane, and was wearing a pair of purple shades. Excuse me, I called out, making her look up at me as I walked up to her. Hey, glad to meet ya. The name's Pone 3, but everybody calls me Vinyl Scratch, she greeted, holding her hand out. Pardon me, it's every pony, not everyone. I know, don't you meow. I smiled and shook it. Glad to meet you. My name's Daniel. If you don't mind, I would like to play a song tonight, I said, gesturing the instrument held in my other hand. She gave a big smile and said, Sure thing. Let me get set up first, real quick. She stopped the music, adjusted some things with her equipment, and pulled out a mic. Attention, every pony! All the ponies looked up at once as they heard Vinyl call out, Tonight, our guest, known as Daniel, will be playing a song for all of us. What do you all think of that? The ponies cheered while Vinyl gave me the mic. I stepped in the center of the stage, placing the mic in a conveniently placed stand. Pinky managed to materialize before me. After ensuring it was adjusted comfortably and effectively for me, I spoke. Good evening, everybody. Tonight, since I'm not from here, I play one of my favorite songs from back home. This one is called Rebirthing by Skillet. I then prepared myself for the song and signaled Vinyl with his thumbs up.